Marine Corps Junior ROTC program here in Transylvania County is one of the finest. You have two great leaders leading them, Sergeant Major Hall and Lieutenant Colonel McGowan. At this time, we are going to have the ribbon cutting, and I never did this before in my life, so I have no idea what to expect. I would like to have all the board members please come up and get a big picture of us cutting the ribbon. So everyone come forward, board members.
That's Matt, everybody. Let's all focus on him. And Matt, when you give us the okay, Emmett, give it a good whack. If you have to do it once or twice more, that's all right.
Yay!
Thank you, Emmett. Thank you, folks. Appreciate you being out here on this eclipse deal thing. I notice I've got a quorum here, so we can make that happen right now. And since I'm talking about them, what a good opportunity to go ahead and introduce them. And I know that Chairman Chapman, actually Colonel Chapman, will do the same on the county side. But Maurice Jones, council member here, Madam Hollingsworth, and in the back over there, Mayor Pro Tem, but Colonel Morrow is here. Thank you, sir. And is there anybody from else by the city that I'm not seeing you? Where? Oh, Chief of Police. Chief Harris is here. Good to see you. And Daniel Cobb is here. Is that Daniel from the planning department? I've been looking forward to this one. This is a good one. I like this one. I like them all, but I really like this one. And what's that? I'm gonna let Colonel Chapman introduce them. David Mahoney's here. Is that right? What you said? Where's he at? Oh, Henderson County Sheriff. Good to see you, sir. He'll make those proper introductions. But Emmett Cassiato, good Southern name, Southern Italy. When he first came in and asked about doing this, or was asking me to support it, I couldn't help but say yes, and wanted to say yes, and glad to say yes, and all of council are. I'm so happy that this is so central right here on Main Street, next to this beautiful courthouse, in front of this gazebo, where a lot of entertainment happens, a lot of good things. But I am so pleased that we are honoring the past, and that's what a museum is. It honors what has accomplished in the past. And you know, what I can say about that is what has happened in the past has brought us to about a free opportunity to gather on a courthouse in Brevard, North Carolina, and celebrate the good things that are happening in our community. And a lot is happening here, and you can't erase that. You can't take that away. I don't care if cultures change, if people's attitudes, you can't erase the good things that have happened. So I say that. I'm grateful for this museum. Thank you, Emmett. Thank you, Emmett. Thanks for everybody who has been a part of the good things that have happened here. And, you know, ribbon cuttings normally for me, I go there, they cut the ribbon, and we smile and we wave and we leave. And I'm glad we're sticking around for this. I'm glad that this is certainly as important as it is. So as soon as Emmett finishes campaigning over there, I'm gonna give this back to you. Emmett, good to see you. Thank you so much for this and your hard work and effort.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I appreciate
Wonderful.
it.
Thank you. You do the town proud.
Thanks so much.
General O'Brien, Lieutenant General O'Brien. Well, good morning. And if you know Emmett like I've come to know him, you know that I walked into the Heritage Museum intended to be there for 20 minutes, and 2.5 hours later, after I met Emmett, I finally got to leave. God bless him. Honoring veterans, preserving history, and educating youth. I can't think of three finer purposes for a museum like this right here in the middle of our community. I'd be remiss if I didn't welcome and honor all of the veterans that are standing out here in this group. And I can tell by the way you stand, and some of you with sore knees like mine, we've got a lot of veterans here, but I've also got to welcome all of your families, because if we haven't learned anything else in the last 3 or 4 decades, military service is a family affair. So thank you for all of your service and what you've done for our nation. Every time I walk into this magnificent facility, I'm reminded of two things. One, what a dump it was 2.5 months ago before Emmett went in there. And two, the words of our Commander-in-Chief, former Commander-in-Chief Ronald Reagan. One day at Arlington Cemetery, President Reagan issued a challenge to every American citizen. He said, freedom is only one generation away, always only one generation away from extinction. And freedom is something we can't pass to our children in their bloodstreams. Freedom has to be taught. It has to be preserved. And sometimes it has to be fought for. And if we don't do that for our children, then someday we may have to turn to our children's children and have to describe to them what it used to be like to live in a free America. This magnificent facility that Emmett and his small group of volunteers have put together for us is one way to answer the challenge of President Reagan. It is dedicated to educating our youth, and what a tremendous tool it will be. I can't wait until visitors to Brevard walk into this facility in the weeks and months to come, and they look at hundreds, if not thousands, of gold plates on that wall of honor, recognizing the service of every veteran who ever wore the uniform of our nation from Western North Carolina. What a statement about our community.
What a glorious day it is today for this community, right here, Brevard. Honor, educate, preserve, couldn't be better. I think education of our young people is really an awesome thing, and they'll be able to meet some really tremendous people who have been part of our history. Those are the people that are standing out here, our veterans with their hats on and some without their hats. I just want to give thanks and congratulate, first of all, the county legislature, Chairman Chapman and the county, Transylvania County, for making this building available to Emmett and his team. A wonderful thing to do, and giving out infrastructure is not an easy thing to do. I know that. Tremendous job there, tremendous support for the community. And Mayor, to you and your council and the people in Brevard, Emmett said it to you without the mic in his hand. You've always supported me, and you have been a great supporter for this team, and you made this possible along with these fine board members that support Emmett, and they're out here. They came up for the ribbon cutting. They have their little badges on, and thank you for your time and effort and your contribution to this thing. To Emmett, who has become a good friend, Emmett and Tony, and good neighbors. We enjoy each other's company now regularly. I admire your dedication. I admire your persistence and your spirit. A fabulous job here today. A glorious day for Brevard and for all of us. God bless you all. God bless America.
As Emmett said, this hasn't been a seamless process. It started out, as Emmett, he came to me and he said, Commissioner, he said, I'm a gypsy. I said, what do you mean, Emmett? He said, I'm a gypsy, I have no home. And so he mentioned a little of his history from the Wall to the Heritage Museum, and he was in the process of, I got to pack all this stuff up, and my wife is giving up her home for me to store this stuff. So when we started looking around, one of the things that came up, and you probably saw discussions about it in the paper, was the old Board of Elections building, which would have been an option, you know, and all that. And then I started thinking, I said, well, we've got this little building here in downtown, and maybe this might be an option. And I brought Emmett in here, and his mouth dropped open because he had the vision. Emmett, you had the vision, and that's what it takes here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your museum. Veterans, this is your museum. This is our kids' museum. We know what is going on around the country, trying to rewrite, restore, whatever history. History is history, and it's to be studied, it's to be learned from, it's to be gained from, and to be maintained. So this is, Emmett, what you're doing here is not just for the now, it's for the past, but mostly for the future. I encourage all of you to get involved. It's not free when I say there is a cost of trying to keep this doors open. As you've heard, there's no charge to go in. So we're going to rely on donations and contributions that are tax deductible. So if any of you need a good big tax deduction before the end of the year, see Emmett there. But I want to thank you citizens for making this available. This is your building. It's a government building. The future of it, how long, we never know, but we hope that it's going to be a success. This museum is going to be a destination place, not only for our community, but for our state and our country. I don't know of anyone anywhere, at least in western North Carolina, maybe east of Raleigh, that comes even close to this. We've had publicity, thanks to Mr. Corn there, for down in Raleigh, on the TV stations in Raleigh, so the word is out there. But Emmett, come here a minute. We owe this man the most gratitude.
Oh, geez.
He's worked 24/7. Every time I walk in the door, he's in there. And also, you board of directors, for the time, the commitments that you made under, at times, not very good conditions or disappointments. Because I've been to some of your board meetings where there was some disappointment there. We thought we were that close of getting this done. And say, well, we're not quite there yet. And Emmett would come to our commissioner meetings, and I'd meet him outside the door. I said, Emmett, be easy. We're gonna try to make it happen. But be easy, because he's so excited, and I do have a hook for him that we've had to use a couple of times. But Emmett, it's happened.
All right.
It's here.
I know.
You've done it.
Thank
We
you so
wish
much.
you nothing but success.
Thank
We
you so
thank
much.
the citizens of this community. We thank you, veterans, for your service to this great nation. And God bless America, Emmett.
Thank you so much, Colonel. I appreciate it.